Thanks everyone for joining us. This is our November edition of our pitch-in for Startup Grind. How many people have been to a Startup Grind event before? Should have done it the other way. How many people are new to Startup Grind events? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Everyone who's been around, turn that off in a second. Please try to make any friends, say hi to somebody new. Welcome to our community. Thank you for all of our presenters for coming and for folks who brought some of their community with them too. So really cool. We have 3 presenters tonight. We have 3 pitches. The general format will be 10 minutes of your pitch and then a 5-minute Q&A. We'll transition people out. And then whatever time and energy people have left, we can mingle here. Also, Drifter's Pub is where we got our food and drinks. If you order food or beverage from there, they will deliver it here if you want, if you need to run and grab something. And then also after the event, we'll be able to hang out there. As a quick high level of Startup Grind for those that are new to the community, we're meant to just help startups. We're here to educate, inspire, and connect the community. We try to partner with everyone that we can to help contribute back to the startup community with the goal of just driving kind of growth in the area of Rochester. With that being said, Startup Grind is a global organization. There's a conference in May in Silicon Valley. There's actually a pitch battle coming up that's all the regions can be feeders into that. So if anyone's interested in having like an exposition and a pitch spot there for free, we'll be doing something in January, and the winners of that will go to regionals, and that will get a free spot. So if anyone's interested in that, especially if you pitched or are pitching or have friends that are in this space, anyone's eligible to kind of get in that grouping and that showing. So with that, I guess the other thing we have kind of just quick announcements, but we're partnering with Flower City AI for their conference. There'll be an after party, and that's going to be our holiday event or end of year party event. I'm putting you on the spot now, Max.
Oh, right now? Okay.
Or you want to do that afterwards?
Afterwards.
All right. Sorry, we didn't talk about that. But more to come. More to come. And like I said, if anyone's interested or knows anyone else kind of wants to pitch or present, feel free to get us connected. We try to help out wherever we can in between. And am I missing anything, guys?
I'm a timekeeper, so for the 3 presenters, just look at me. It's 10 minutes loose. I'm not going to cut you off hard. And it's about 5 minutes for questions. So I'll tell everyone last question. And if you have any more additional, just find them afterwards. Most of the speakers will stick around afterwards.
Good. All right. So first up, we're going to have Bencmark Labs. We're going to have them present first over. And I'm going to turn off that.
Oh, the music is nice. Good entrance.
The only problem we have with that is it's going to keep happening.
Nice. Go ahead and just press next here.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hey everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Ulrik Soderstrom. I'm the co-founder of Bencmark Labs. We do point-specific weather forecasting. So we downscale large forecasts down to specific assets. We do that to protect farmers' yields, help energy companies understand their operations and maintenance, and also help protect prescribed fire routines in their operations. I'm also a Rochester native, so I grew up in Irondequoit, went to undergrad and grad school at University of Rochester in data science and environmental science, so love to see this organization, so big thanks to the team, it's very exciting. Quick intro, I'm the Chief Strategy and Operations Officer at Bencmark Labs. I did my master's in data science, as I mentioned, at the University of Rochester. Did a lot of applications in weather forecasting during that time, worked with NOAA and their Environmental Modeling Center with their hurricane group. Kind of saw this request from customers of the National Weather Service, which was, we really need better weather forecasts that are tuned to our location. So that led me to be introduced to Carlos over at Arabelle Labs, which is a hardware company we met maybe 9 years ago. We worked together building these really cool IoT weather stations that taught us that hardware is hard, it's very capital intensive, very thin margins, and there's not a lot of room for analytics. Carlos, who lives out in San Diego, has a PhD in atmospheric science. He was one of the co-founders of Climate AI. He's actually been in front of Congress a couple of times this year talking about AI bills on behalf of Google and Google for Startups, which has been pretty exciting and cool. And we're a minority-owned and led company, Carlos. I also consulted with McKinsey & Company for a few years in their Boston office, particularly around weather forecasting for shipping and logistics problems. So I want to kick things off by introducing one of our biggest example customers. This is Jason Cole. He's a ranch manager. He has a lot of issues that are all due to weather. So he has a lot of excessive fertilizer and pesticide use. So he'll spray fertilizer, pesticides, it'll rain unexpectedly, or the wind will blow, and it'll get washed off sometimes in his field. It's not great. There's also a lot of water wasted, especially on the west coast where he is, where it'll rain when he turned on his automatic sprinklers, and that can be very costly, and significant yield loss. So this is really important to this region in particular. In the Finger Lakes wine region, there was a frost event in May that killed 80% of some of the vineyards and some of the wine grape varieties. So when you think about that being the revenue for your next year as a vineyard or grower, that's substantial. And they don't know when these weather events are going to occur, and they can't take proper mitigation techniques to prevent them. And that is the core of the issue. So why is this happening? Well, it's because the weather data that we receive is too coarse to serve specialty crops and other high-value asset managers, as we call them. So for the last 80 years or so, we've done weather forecasting the same way. We divide the world into boxes like in a Rubik's Cube, and everyone in each box gets exactly the same forecast regardless of the microclimate. These boxes can be 6,000 acres in size, like the new Google Graph model that came out last year. So it's fine for you and I if you want to know if you need an umbrella because you're leaving for work. It does not work if you're the manager of a vineyard in a remote area, if you're the manager of 200 offshore turbines, in a remote area. These are all kind of inaccurate global gridded models coming from the National Weather Service, AccuWeather, IBM, and the like. They're also always at like 5 meters or 10 meters, right? So it's always the same height. In New York State, there's 120 weather stations that funnel our network from the Albany Center of Excellence Mesonet. That seems like a lot. It's actually one of the most heavily instrumented places on the planet, but that's actually a weather station every 500 square miles. So you really need more weather stations. And so farmers and other energy developers, insurance companies have been buying their own privately owned stations. It costs like $200 right now on Amazon to get your own weather station. I have one in my backyard in Cornhill, where I live. And those weather stations are only getting backwards looking data and current state data, so they're not getting forecasts associated. So this is where Bencmark Labs comes in. We provide point-specific weather forecasts. We basically take in those weather forecasts from the National Weather Service, IBM, AccuWeather, Weather Underground, and the like. We integrate into any hardware IoT weather station. So we don't make hardware. We partner with the hardware companies, or a software company. And then we tune those forecasts from the graded forecast down to a specific point. And in doing so, we reduce the root mean square error by about 85% compared to the National Weather Service. We also have a lot of innovative variables, like evapotranspiration. So if precipitation's water in, evapotranspiration's water out. We do powdery mildew forecasts for grapes, which helps with pest and disease. Another thing next to frost that kills a lot of grapes. We have growing degree days important to farmers. We're doing wave forecasts now for offshore wind and just outside New York City with the Empire Beacon Wind projects and in Massachusetts. All of this leads to some actual insights. You can save resources by understanding when it's going to rain and how much water is evaporating off your plants. Thank you. You can reduce pesticides by knowing when it's going to rain or the wind's going to blow, and so you're not wasting when you're spraying, and you can improve your yield. So if I'm a vineyard, to go back to that example, if I know a frost event's coming in the next few days, I would deploy kerosene torches. They'll fly helicopters over the field to turn the air. They'll put out frost fans. There's a whole bunch of mitigation techniques, but they're expensive to deploy, complex, and take time. And so this is why we're seeing 80% death of plants in some of these vineyards. So it's exciting to have an 80-degree day like we had last week. It's also terrifying for some of these growers. So with our technology, we've been able to solve this coarse weather problem. So Jason Cole went to ABC News 7, talked about how he saw 50 to 100% yield increase by using Bencmark Labs in our forecast, which we're really, really excited to see. How do we do this? Talked a little bit about this already. We take these large-scale graded forecasts, we tune them down to individual weather stations. This is an example of a weather station. We have proprietary patent-pending algorithms that are machine learning based as well as physics based that do that correction at a specific point. We release all this data via SaaS dashboards and APIs as well. So this is a really big market. We did the Clean Tech to Market program at Berkeley. They put 1,000 hours of MBA work in. They did this really cool 80-page market mapping of all these different use cases from ag insurance, golf courses, mining, ski resorts, and the like. Kind of determined that based on our team and what users need this information the most, that we were very focused on agriculture and specialty crops to start. So this is a classic like TAM, SAM, SUM. So the larger climate weather market's like $300 billion, some enormous number. There's 22 million IoT weather stations privately owned deployed globally today that aren't part of the weather network. So that's what we're targeting, and within that there's a $4 billion opportunity. It's also a 17.5K growth in those 22 million sensors, so in 5 years it's 50 million sensors, so this is growing really fast. As I mentioned, we're looking at other opportunities too. We are part of the Offshore Wind Innovation Hub in New York City. We're starting to get our first scope of work with big energy developers. We work with the Nature Conservancy with their controlled burn teams. These guys go out to remote areas to do prescribed fires and don't know what the weather conditions are going to be, and have a lot of labor scheduling loss. And then costly access to insurance. So ag insurance is a big potential customer of ours. This thing called parametric insurance, where they're actually triggering the insurance to pay out before the event happens, because it's better for everyone. If you can go buy frost fans, then lose 80% of your vineyard. And in summary here in competition, there's a lot of incumbent weather companies that we all have on our phones, or you might be paying for it for a business. These are coarse global models. They rely on ad revenue, so it's consumers clicking in, and it's what we call the two-penny market, and they rely on this outdated public data sources. We provide truly point-specific weather forecasting. We have a really experienced team in this space, and we're a hardware-agnostic SaaS solution. This takes us to kind of our two main go-to-market channels here. We are doing two things. We're bundling our forecasts with the hardware companies, so we can co-sell our forecasts with their hardware, because they already have sales teams in place. And we're landing and expanding with high-value land managers. Some examples as the Nature Conservancy, we work in 5 preserves today. They have 1,300, so the sky's the limit. And when we've signed agreements and done partnerships and 1-year standing pilots, early customers of 80% of the hardware market. So these companies are really excited to co-sell our forecasts because their sales teams get recurring revenue from the sales. They're able to offer competitive, complete solution because there's a lot of hardware companies out there. We've gotten a number of good awards and grants from doing this. So part of Google for Startups, we've done some NASA contracts. We're a TechStars company, Clean Tech, Open Regional Winner, National Finalist, and some more. This is a little bit more of what's going on for us today. We just closed this larger $3 million round. It's hopefully going to take us to $13 million in recurring revenue over the next 3.5 years, and allow us to expand to some other markets. And those are some of our great investors. So, thank you. Any questions on the floor? Yeah.
Yeah, so I work in data engineering, data science, so I was wondering what platform, what software you use to do the, to kind of aggregate the data and do the data engineering, data science.
Yeah, great question. We use AWS primarily. We run all this on the cloud, so one of our big moats is that we've done all the work to pull the data from the National Weather Service and IBM. Those are huge files that are really complicated gridded files that we have to cut up for different lat longs in places of the globe. And then we've done over 14 different integrations with the hardware weather companies that use the weather stations. So that allows us to do the downscaling. We pull that into the cloud in AWS, we do the computing, we return that typically via API to the customers, but sometimes dashboards.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about weather forecasting at all.
Yeah.
But those, when you're talking about ground stations and IoT devices, what about satellite? Do you incorporate satellite into your algorithms?
We don't today, and a lot of that satellite data is being incorporated into the larger gridded models that we talked about. I am a little bearish on some of the satellite technology that we're seeing. There's a lot of data validation issues. There's latency where the satellites are passing and only get data points, every few set of hours, which is not very helpful for weather forecasting. And it's also, a fairly competitive field. There's already a lot of like Spire Weather has dozens of satellites. Tomorrow.io, which is a great weather company, they're the first to do the 1 kilometer model sub-hourly working with JetBlue. They just raised like tens of millions of dollars from SoftBank with bleed scale capital to launch radar, LiDAR satellites. But I'm not sure in that play, given like Spire Weather already has as many satellites. So it's useful data, but for what we do, we care about like the true on the ground validation for the data.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you mentioned this or not, but I was curious a little bit more about your business model. You mentioned sharing revenue with the hardware companies. So how much do you sell the software for? Are you planning to, and how much are you sharing with these different hardware companies?
Good question. Yeah, we sell our forecast for $2,000 per station per year in agriculture. In energy, those contracts are much bigger. So the offshore wind companies lose $800,000 a day that their boats are down due to weather, so the willingness to pay is much higher. As I mentioned, each weather station gets its own forecast. So if you have 200 turbines, you might get 200 forecasts. If you have 5 weather stations throughout your vineyard or your preserve, you might have 5 times $2,000 there. Our margin's really strong as a software company. We're really hard in the cloud computing optimization. We have a 90% margin right now. So we're able to offer a pretty compelling revenue share to hardware companies. In some cases, like 20% revenue share. It's exciting to do. So, yeah. But we're happy to do it because we'll break well even. Yeah.
So you have many of these weather stations. Like, is each one independent? Do you ever use one to correct another, or several are near each other? Do they know about each other?
Interesting question. So like each weather station gets its own forecast, as I mentioned. We don't use like all the stations in the area to create, a better forecast for each individual station. There are a lot of different hardware companies, and so there's different performance and different variables in this hardware. So we will cross-validate to do that. There's some unique cases like frost indexes where it's better to have 2 stations to do the calculation, but in general we rely on each individual station because the microclimate data can be incredibly different. Even in Rochester, I posted this on LinkedIn a few days ago, it's like within a 4-mile stretch there's a 10-degree Fahrenheit difference if you just look at the ambient weather stations. So it's huge microclimate effects. And then your vineyard, your youngest vines will die in under an hour if it goes below 32 degrees, and so these vineyard managers are just staring at their temperature, and if it's quite different at the top of your hill in the Finger Lakes than a mile away, you want that point in the weather station.
Yeah, because they're all on hills, so it's like top of the hill can be very different than the bottom.
Yeah, it's quite interesting out there. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So there's anybody that's out on the periphery, if you want, before Jess here
Yeah,
starts,
yeah,
feel free to like move some chairs
There's
in
a few
here and
extras in
come
here
in
if you
closer.
wanna.
There's a couple chairs up here. It's like you don't have to. Yeah. Especially you guys way out there, feel free to come on in. We don't bite.
No, we thought. Thank you.
That's fine.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess, and today we are talking about Bold, the online dating alternative. But I like to get a feel for the room here first, so where are my bold single people at? Raise your hand if you are single. Anyone, not just the bold folks, the single folks. Single folks, raise your hand. Thank you, you're having fun with us. Keep your hand up if you're single and interested in dating, because some people are single but not interested in dating. Okay, cool. That's you. And how many people are on the apps? Do you see what just happened? About 50% of the hands dropped. And so that's what I found. Online dating frustration is real. That is what the problem is, and about 50% of singles are not online dating. So what are they doing? They're getting creative. How creative? Very creative. They're starting to wear QR codes that say, date me. Date me. They're going to they're running a marathon. I'm just here to find a boyfriend. They're handing out flyers, looking for a rich husband, just looking for a boyfriend. What else are they doing? They're attending events. Events like Run Club. This Run Club started with 30 people. Week number 2, 100 people. Now 1,200 people show up to Austin and New York City every week. Singles wearing black, non-singles in color. There's a lot of people wearing black there. More singles events popping up all throughout. And imagine this, like we're pitching businesses right now, you can pitch your single friends at a local bar. Yeah, they're getting creative. Right. Or how about some self-promotion here? We have some reels. You can post a reel. Imagine you have a couple thousand followers. It goes viral. Maybe somebody slides into your DMs. That's cool. Yeah, I tried it. It didn't work. People running into each other with upside-down pineapples in the grocery store. Upside-down pineapple in your grocery cart in Spain means you're single. You hit somebody else's cart means you're interested. They're getting creative, guys. They're getting creative with wearables, events, and self-promotion. Keep that in mind. If only there was something that could combine all of those factors. Hi, Sharks. I'm Jess, and I am on a mission to take online dating offline and put it back in the wild, where it belongs. This is me in the grocery store wearing this shirt. I get stopped a lot, and I wear this out in public. By other people who are like, yes, what are you doing? Are you sick of online dating? Yes, I'm sick of online dating. So how do you plan on doing that, Jess, is your question. Introducing the Bold wristband. The Bold wristband is the opposite of a wedding ring. It shows the world that you are single and ready to mingle, right? Oh, and this is me wearing this shirt at the Fairport Music Festival. The Fairport Music Festival had 10,000 people there, and the people that stopped me and were interested, I handed out paper wristbands to the singles who wanted to promote that they were single, and they knew that if they saw other people with the wristband that those people would be single too. I handed out 124 wristbands that night, and now I have an email list of about 115 people by wearing this shirt around Rochester. So yeah, we have some proud singles there. Why bold? Bold because you have to be bold to wear it, and you have to be bold to approach, and it secretly stands for boycotting online dating, because we know how great that is. So how does it work? You wear your bold band out in public. You see other people wearing the bold band. Where are my bold bands at? Woo! Yes. You meet, you mingle, you talk, you're willing to be open and chat with other people in person, and then you connect with that person, and because of the NFC technology inside of the band, you can approach somebody and say, hey, do you want to share, do you want to connect later? Tap the band, and we have a text message that pre-populates. Hey, just met you in person, in the wild. This is, enter your name, Jess. Nice to meet you. Why does this work? It decreases fear. Is that person single? Okay, they're cute, but are they single? Do they even want to be approached? It increases serendipity. What do I mean by that? It increases the opportunity to know there are other singles in your area, and increases impromptu encounters there. So are you at the gym? Are you at the grocery store? Oh look, there's a person with a bold band. They're single too. Okay, now I know I can approach. And it creates real connection. Goodbye, online dating. Hello. Real life interactions, real people, no more ghosting, no more catfishing. Catfishing? Yeah, that's it. So, the product is the wristband. Eventually, maybe there will be a subscription opportunities to search for people within a location, something like that, maybe tech related in the future, but right now, it is the wristband, it is the connection of the NFC to a text thread. It is a community. It's a community of people who want to meet up in the wild. It is a community of events. places holding events, not just singles events for the Bold community, but like this event was kind of a mingler. It was happening anyway. You can turn any kind of event into a singles event by putting on your wristband and looking for other singles with the wristband. So it doesn't just have to be a singles event. And locations, so like imagine if Wegmans was a Bold location and you knew that other Bold members might be shopping in Wegmans, and you can kind of like, you know, look around for some other Bold bands. So that's the idea of the location. It is also a brand. It's an identity. Like, we are bold for being like, I don't want to date online anymore. I'm single, I'm over it, and I'm single and I'm gonna wear it on my shirt. I mean, people are doing it. They're already doing it. I don't know if you would do it, I would do it, but that's some people are doing it. You can get your merch now. It's available on our website. So remember how I said that singles are getting creative with wearables, events, and self-promotion? We've got the wearables, we've got the events, and we've got the self-promotion. So the marketing analysis, so Bold Band. It's no secret that online dating is a pain point, and there's a lot of frustration, and 50% of people are not online dating, and that's the Match.com. I'm not sure if they're necessarily competitors if 50% of the people are just choosing not to do it anyway. There is a wearable out right now called Pair Ring. Pair Ring is a little silicone green ring that you wear. I think that they kind of missed the mark. A ring indicates that you are taken, one. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake. The execution wasn't great. They're calling it the world's largest social experiment. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be a part of a social experiment. The ring kind of missed it, poor execution, and Reddit agrees. They're like, it makes no sense. So, and Reddit is, you know, end all be all of facts. So, our market is a $9 billion with a B dollar industry. 50% of singles are not online dating, which was surprising to me. I did not realize that. 15% of users pay for Bumble. However, when I started surveying my users, none of them paid for Bumble. The people that were wearing my wristbands, nobody was paying, but 66% of them said that they would buy a wristband. Cool. And 99% of people are sick of online dating. We are ready to meet back in person. This is according to me, stuff that is according to me because I said so. And the opportunity here is declining app usage. So lots of details, but basically Match.com, which owns basically everything with online dating, went from a $40 billion company in 2021 to now $7.8 billion. There is a decline happening. There is an increase in event attendance. So industry event attendance is increasing, increased 42% in singles events in 2023 alone. So people are ready for something different. The competitive position here is that it is not online dating. People are excited about that. App usage is decreasing. Event goers are increasing. We're looking for something different, are we not? And the market is ready for it. So who is this market? The market is people who aren't online dating. Like, it's not our competitor. People who are sick of online dating. My users were between 22 and over 70 years old, which is great. People looking for more organic in-person connections and a long-term, meaningful relationship. I've had a lot of people say, well, what about having different color bands for different kinds of things? What about the casual people? And I'm thinking, guys, if you want something casual, go on Tinder. That is what that is for. That is not what Bold is about. Okay, so the traction we've had so far is, like I said, 124 wristbands at the Bold, at the festival that I went to. I have 115 people on my email list, and of those 115 people, I have sold 14 bands. That's a pretty good conversion rate. Thank you for those who have supported and who are here today. We've collected $130 in sales. People give us a lot of great feedback. I'm in. How do I sign up? I'd like to wear a wristband. Another thing that's been really cool that I did not know was going to happen is wearing this shirt around is I have people say, oh, my son is single. Can I give you his number? Or, oh, I have a friend for you. And which shows that if other people, not just singles, but if other people know about the band, then there could be opportunities to connect to other singles through people who might not be single, but know of somebody who is single. So it just is another layer of awareness. And I've had 7 people ask me if I need investors in my business yet. So that's pretty exciting, pretty cool. People are excited about it. The business model, how are we gonna get the word out? How are we gonna launch? Hopefully unpaid, organic. People love it so much that they just spread the word. Spread the word. Tell your friends about it. These are our band ambassadors, like brand ambassadors, but band ambassadors. Thank you. And they're going to spread the word about it organically so we don't have to pay for ads. But chances are we're going to have to pay a little bit, make a funny ad like a Squatty Potty ad, and everybody's going to go, haha, I hate online dating too, and share it with all of their friends. And then it'll go viral that way. SWOT analysis. So strengths, I didn't know how to do a pitch before this, and apparently you're supposed to have this in it, so here it is. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the business. The strength is, it's a brand, like it's different, it's not online dating. The opportunity is that the market needs this. The weakness is, it's just me, and while I am obviously passionate and enthusiastic about this, I know absolutely nothing about tech or startups. And the speed to market, if Match.com wanted to do this tomorrow, they would crush me, so it's fine. As long as somebody does it, that's the important part. Founders, pricing right now, you can grab a band for $9.99. They're on sale, I have them here. You get the free basic, tap to connect with other people, and the premium, I don't know, if the tech gets built, sure. Future pricing, it could be upwards of $20, $30 a band, depending on how people value this. The market is 84 million right now, so if we can corner 1% of the market at a $20 band, cool, we got a $20 million business, let's go! Hopefully there's some hockey stick projections. That's what that picture was, that's how we're gonna do. Bold is a wristband, a community, a brand, and a movement to take people offline and put dating back in the wild. So if you'd like to learn more, this is the website. Thank you so much for having me. That was really fun.
Questions?
Are there going to be future events?
Yes. Feel free to sign up on the website and you'll get notified of future events.
I'm not single, but my mother's single, and I can see her doing this.
This is amazing feedback. Grab one for her.
I have a feeling that if you go mega, it's going to be social media. I'm not positive, but I think that it's like when I had immediate vision in my mind when I was a kid, there was this bracelet going around, the iHeart Unleash bracelet. I don't know if anyone remembers that bracelet. But they sold it at all the sneaker shops that all the kids went to. And it's not just my mom. I could see me doing this back when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like I was, looking for a girlfriend in high school.
Yeah.
Not the kids asking for their parents to buy one for them. It'd be my mom buying.
Awesome. Well, definitely stop by, grab one for your mom. Yeah, thank you for that feedback. Any feedback is welcome too. Thank you. Yes. Hi.
Did you think of universities launching because universities, even though it's a younger population, is still there's social awkwardness on campus?
Yes, definitely. So like the idea of launching in universities, like Facebook launched locally first. Yes, exactly. I think that would work. My initial gut reaction was like, they don't have this problem in universities because they are always mingling with other people. They're in different classes. People know people. But that doesn't mean that they don't want to use it. I just feel like as an older single woman who doesn't mingle with a lot of people on a regular basis, it's a stronger pain point than maybe college students, but that's just an assumption. Absolutely, in universities would be a great opportunity to see how it takes off. Thank you.
Okay, now for the other end of the spectrum,
Yes.
I'm thinking about a potential target market that's only going to get bigger, particularly in upstate New York, the senior market.
Yes.
Have you considered that?
I think when I was walking around the Fairport Music Festival, I think I got the most attention from seniors. I'm not sure if, not, and by seniors I mean people over 65,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I'm
Yeah, and because I think that they were comfortable to say something to me. They had the confidence to be like, tell me more about this versus a younger person. But also they don't want to be on the dating apps, or they just aren't.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the simplicity of it is fun. So yes, the senior market, thank you. I will take note of that, yes. All right.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Seems to me, like you said, speed to market is important to make sure Match.com doesn't do this.
Yes.
What is your go-to-market strategy? You've
Yeah.
got a lot of really good initiatives.
Thank you. It would be meet up with different places in Rochester, starting to have events, have meetups, and see how. I think that's the next step, is just to have some events and see how it happens, how it takes, some singles events. And I've already spoken to some event or locations around Rochester, and they're like, Jess, when are we doing this? Like, let's do this. This will be good. So yeah. Thank you. That's the idea. I think launching events, and then hopefully we don't need to do as many events, but launching an events initially. Yes.
How long have you been working on this? And are you looking for best? I know you mentioned some individuals we're looking to potentially.
Yes. I think that this shirt was made the day before the Fairport Music Festival. The idea was birthed maybe a month before that, of like, oh, this could be it. I was putting on a dot bracelet and I was like, here's the solution, this is it. These bands were just ordered maybe a few weeks ago, and yeah, so I would say August probably was when it was birthed. Yeah. And am I looking for investors? Not yet. I think I want to bootstrap, and I think what's cool is the bands themselves will pay. Hopefully, if people are interested, the bands are paying for the next big thing. But if I need speed to market and I need big marketing agencies, then maybe I do need millions of dollars of investment to beat out Match or something. But we're bold. We're like, we're not online dating. We're not Match. No offense, Match. Yes.
Somebody was talking about social media earlier. I know you had an Instagram for this.
Yes.
Have you thought about getting on Twitter or X?
TikTok.
That seems to be exploding. Yeah, TikTok too.
TikTok, Twitter, X. Yes, I was afraid to do too much too soon before it even existed. This website was completed yesterday. And I still have some things that I need to do. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Hi. Yes.
I love the idea.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
I walked into it.
Appreciate it.
If I had the money, I'd buy too.
Yes.
The thing is, you know what you gotta do?
What?
You blow up, find people with the same charisma as you that want to talk about something new.
Thank you. Thank you. That's just people. Thank you.
So Jess, you realize to remain credible as the face of the company, you have to remain professional and simple.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Just one quick question. So you're selling the band for $20. How much does it cost you to get the band? What is your profit for the?
Currently, you can grab yours for $10 or $5 if you negotiate me down. But it costs.
You need to work on your sales pitch.
To make 100 bands, it cost me $1.53 to get it here from China. $1.53. If I
For 100 bands?
$1.53 a band.
Per band.
Yeah, $153 to get 100 bands. If I ordered 10,000 bands, we're talking 15 cents probably.
Plus the time for your program.
Ah, yes, plus programming time, because we haven't figured that out yet. But it's an MVP, it's fine, it's good.
Program is not
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So the sales pitch you need
Awesome.
is when somebody asks, it's like, just got a limited number left, so it's like.
That's
you say,
right.
"Oh, yeah, premium."
I need to throw them all under the table. Just there's only 2 left. If you're interested, come see me after. Thank you.
Very good. Good job. Can I get back on?
So, you doing anything right? Nothing. Okay. That's it.
Whenever I'm ready.
Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Collin Wheatley. I am the founder of Sweet Consulting. A little bit about me. So I've been in the health insurance, the health benefits space for about 10 years now, since 2015. Over those 10 years, I've recognized there are quite a few challenges that are happening in healthcare. I'm sure by a show of hands, everybody is experiencing some of that when it comes to cost, education, information, the administration of, benefits, and then service, right? When you have a program, you need to use it. How easy is it to work through a challenge? Calling up a company, navigating through their headquarters, and staying on hold for as long as it takes, right? And so understanding a lot of these challenges has brought me to why did I start Sweet Consulting? Now, do I anticipate or expect this to be some wildly brand new idea that's never existed before? I would say no. However, we are coordinating individuals, partners, and companies, I feel, at a high level, which is providing the best experience for our end users and doing it in a way that is focused on education and service. Because what then I found is that when people are educated, typically they make better decisions, which means that they're probably electing coverages that make more sense for them, potentially spending less money on benefits that you don't even need per se, right? Just an example. So that when something unexpected or potentially catastrophic happens, you have the right coverage and it works the way that it's intended, reducing blind spots, and that way people are, covered, especially when they need it most. So getting back to what it's all about, and I appreciate Ken. So Ken's been working with me for the last few months here, yep. And so something that might have been helpful and beneficial to today most likely would have been me, and I appreciate Eric for the invitation and me being here, is to join to participate and witness what some of these events are like, so that way I can kind of gauge this more particularly and specifically for my audience. However, I believe that it's through the partnerships and the relationships that I've had that helped me get to where I am, and through continuously building these relationships, helping to get to where we're going, with the idea and concept that it's all about people, which are the individuals who have been impacted through a changing healthcare market. And again, are we saying that, there's right ways and wrong ways? I'm not saying that. I'm just identifying certain processes that I feel like are going to be more in line with supporting businesses from a cost perspective, right? When you look at the cost of health insurances and other benefits, what's the biggest factor a lot of people are looking at? Cost, right? Service. So when you do have to utilize your plan, service, easy administration, right? But ultimately, for those employees who are the ones that are participating into these programs, what challenges are they running into? And a lot of what I found, it just comes back to education and service. Getting into a little bit more about who I am, right? So why would anybody want to work with me as an individual, just standing up here in front of everybody? As I mentioned, I've been in the insurance space since about 2015. Launched my organization, my company, in August. However, through the time that I've had in this space, in my company, I became one of the top closers in the country, in the state, within the first 2-3 years of me getting started. And then I developed into becoming a manager or a coordinator, then leading a team that was one of the most proficient teams in the country for a certain number of years. And then taking this iteration and this momentum and then carrying it forward. So, at a certain spot, essentially being able to scale, to be able to grow, get this information out to the masses. And what we're doing is that we're leveraging what are called voluntary benefits. And what I mean by that is being a partner, right? So the unique thing about what voluntary benefits are, by a show of hands, could anybody take a crack at what a voluntary benefit is or what that means? Yes. No? It's okay. That's where the education comes in, right? That's where I come in.
Walk around, it's like without
Well,
his motive.
If I had a duck because I was Aflac or the previous organization, I would give you a duck. That would be for just I appreciate that. Yes, certainly. To help get onto the right. Did you want to take a whack at it?
Is that like you have perks but you don't use them, like gym membership discounts and stuff like that? Is that a voluntary benefit?
So in essence, to expand on that, a voluntary benefit is a program that a company could offer that has no cost to the business, or it's a program that the business sees value in that they could participate in and sponsor or contribute to a certain program. So that could be an example of a voluntary benefit. Now, okay, why voluntary benefits? And why am I specifically targeting this voluntary niche? One thing, by a show of hands, not many people are super familiar about it, right? However, we could understand that there's a lot of changes that are happening in healthcare. It's impacting businesses, it's impacting employees. Performance? Left?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot.
But
Okay.
also, it's not a hard cutoff. Like if you.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And so voluntary benefits is a unique option that doesn't change what companies have to offer, but it also doesn't change what employees have already participating in. It's a program that's more intended to help fortify existing coverages and what's already there. Now, with that conversation, these voluntary benefits allow individuals and employees the opportunity for education and consulting, which I found is a lot of value that I bring. So, as a benefit counselor, right? So, with folks that are going to be, or that would work with Sweet, so a little bit of kind of why people would work with my organization, Sweet Consulting, is that, again, it's a big problem, many hands, is that we are aligning the top vetted professionals in the country, leveraging the most competitive products that are identified, and using the best product or processes available. And now you don't have to take my word for it, because that's where data analytics come into play, right? So you're not making decisions because I said so. We identify who the business is and what's important to those individuals and their employees. Leveraging that information, be able to create a proposal not based off of how I feel, but more so based off of data and what other organizations and employees in those specific industries have experienced. So you can kind of create your own book, and that's one of the other challenges that I found that's in the health or the insurance world too, is I don't know if I believe this guy. Maybe he's not telling me the truth, right? Not saying that's the case. However, if you had data to back up exactly what it is that you're talking about, how much easier it is to make that decision, right? And then leveraging that data, those relationships, those individuals, who else do you know that could leverage a product like this? And what I could tell you, and I'm not getting really into numbers right now, today's kind of more of like a high-level overview, but there are a profound number of individuals, when they're educated, that see the value of voluntary benefits, and not just the voluntary benefits, but the process, the education, all the different pieces to it, that see the value, want to participate, and then more than likely also know other people that would want to participate, or know other companies that may also not have heard of these types of strategies and these solutions. Because again, it's not just products, but leveraging these products through a changing healthcare world that is designed to combat a lot of these changes, which then impacts, in a positive direction, productivity. Now, I know I'm very limited with time, so here's some talking points for you. If I were to put a dollar amount lost by U.S. companies all across the country due to sick time, people are hurt, they're sick, maybe they're stressed, mental health and things like that. Anybody want to take a crack at how much money businesses are losing every week due to lost productivity? It's okay, I'll tell you. So it's anywhere between 1.5 and $3 billion a week that companies are losing just due to lack of productivity. A lot of it can come from financial wellness, right? A lot of individuals and families, right? If you're looking at the U.S. working family, imagine having to make the decision of seeking treatment because you can because it's the right thing to do, or seeking treatment because you can afford it. And how many people don't seek treatment because they just simply can't afford to go to the doctor? So they have to make a tough family decision. Our products, our processes, and the people that we're working with is intended to help individuals proactively get through those tough decision-making moments, leveraging very competitive programs so that when a blind spot happens or something unexpected, potentially catastrophic, they're taken care of, right? And what we're doing is that we're not leveraging products that are, new, that are extremely profound. We're actually taking, information and products that have been around for an extremely long time that most people may not even know that exist, bringing that to the forefront through education, building relationships, and backing it up with really good service. I haven't really touched on all these points. I know we're limited with time.
You can take questions and then fill it into the questions.
Sure. Questions?
I got a quick one for you to start. Could you clarify? It sounds like in the pitch it was both businesses and like personal
individuals.
Could you, I guess, clarify that a little bit? I got both, but it was hard to tell exactly if you. It sounds like you have two different channels. You're selling to individuals, but also the businesses. Could you just clarify?
So initially, with our organization kickstarting, getting up and running, we primarily focus on businesses. So we're growing pretty heavily with businesses, developing partnerships to help get the word out. But what I intend eventually, because time, money, you can only go as quickly as you can, is then actually having a service that people can just go to for benefit questions, so that way they can get questions answered, and then point in the right direction of what products to have. So initially commercial, then residential or individual.
Thank you.
Yep.
Actually, my question was, you already get it, to be honest with you. Give me a minute, I'll come up with another one.
I got another one quickly. Competitors on the do you have competitors in both spaces?
So what I love about Sweet Consulting is the fact that we are a voluntary benefit partner. So in this space that we're already working with, we basically work with everybody. And to my understanding, there are really no competitors because we act as Sweet Consulting. I act as a consultant or counselor in regards to voluntary benefits. And then essentially I just connect the right people and work together to create, a program that, makes the most amount of sense. And then once that process and the products are created, then have a service team to back it up.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Question?
What is your revenue model?
Yes. So the way that we get paid is strictly through commission products. And so we are regulated by the Department of Finance here in New York State, and every state is a little bit different. Here's a unique fact that everyone can know, is that if you're participating with like life insurance, for instance, is that you can actually ask your agent, and they're supposed to, if you ask, they have to tell you what the commissions are on the life insurance products. So we're only paid through commission selling. Yeah, it's a new rule, it's a new law that changed fairly recently.
Just for life insurance?
That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you. I think it's just life insurance, but I think it might be in others too. All of them? Oh, he just took his test. All of them.
My test is all.
See? That's Trey. He's on my team. He's an associate. Right, getting started.
So Collin, it's like, I think it's interesting when you're saying that it's like kind of what you're doing is a correlation with overall wellness for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and it's like, and obviously there's big incentives both like from a company standpoint, saving money, but in another area, it's like even though it's like the stuff you're selling is supplemental, it's like the health insurance companies might be interested in this as well because if you can do stuff that will help, it's like it's like reduce
Yeah.
mental health and physical
Yeah.
health issues, it's going to reduce their costs.
Absolutely. And the way that I look at my organization and why somebody like that would be very interested as like a broker or health insurance partner is that we are just absolutely tearing it up when it comes to working with businesses. Because, who wouldn't want at least a conversation or an introduction? And then if anybody, has anybody worked in the insurance space before? Worked in the insurance space? How difficult can it be to actually just get a meeting scheduled? I mean, maybe you have really good luck with it, but for the most part, the tune that I usually hear is just getting the meeting is the hardest part. But once you have the meeting, then it all makes sense, right? The education comes in, and it's a lot smoother of a process. So I would say where our company is really excelling is creating the opportunities or creating the meetings, and then when we're working with individuals, at that point it's one of those things that seems to make sense for a lot of folks. And what's beautiful is that we're leveraging data, so that way it's not just me, off the street saying, hey, you should participate with this program, but understanding this is the market trend, this is what companies in your industry have been impacted by, this is the strategies that they've used. Would you like to do that? But also, really focusing on building good relationships as well, because honestly, that's why we're all here. It's all about people, helping businesses, and unfortunately, insurance just seems like an elephant in the room. It's something that's very, it's costing people more and more every single year. And so we are an organization that I would say we're not a magic bullet, but what we're trying to do is help nudge things in a more positive direction. And what we found is, through the years I've been doing this, I understand why does health insurance go up in cost, and then leveraging programs that are designed to keep the cost down. And I don't think necessarily many people are having conversations of how year over year can we help keep the cost down. Yep.
What's success look like to you over 10 years? What's energy for you? Where do you go?
Yeah, so my niche specifically is voluntary benefits. However, with our certain partners that we're creating and aligning, my goal over the next 5 years is $20 million in voluntary benefits, which is a fairly large number. I understand it's fairly ambitious, but I also do have numbers based on voluntary benefits that are in. I don't want to go too granular, but yes, that would be the number.
I kind of like to make a comment.
We have time for one more.
Can I take a shot?
Yes.
I see a pattern with all three. So if it's proactive versus reactive, if it's dating, microclimate, or insurance, we can drive the data, but it really is complicated. You made that because it was a friend of mine that set up my website for my 3 businesses. If anybody wants to see it, it opens up in a book. It's all about people. We happen to be a healthcare company, but it's universal and it's scale. Here's why I love the dating side, because you're not going to hide from it. Look at my t-shirt. Look at my, and I made books. My granddaughter made this years ago, so what am I wearing? It's just very interesting. Data driven. I perceive you stepped away from where you were because you're slow and steady against the race. It's the way we've always done it. The world isn't the same today. As the woman with the dating service was shooting with her gun, I don't want to do that anymore. But how do we connect these people? So to me, it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, happy singles would probably be good for a company instead of miserable.
Well, that's your person's attitude too. It's not what happens, it's what do you do with it.
Yep.
The big thing is it's for the employee, which a lot of companies are thinking of with healthcare getting more and more expensive by the day. It's helpful that we have something that we can introduce to help them retain the employees that they already have and attract new employees by establishing that we have a value in our voluntary benefits that will come out before you get your paycheck.
Yep.
And they may have it, they just don't know.
Yep.
That's part of the
And honestly, in some cases too, what companies are doing versus what they can do is like a night and day difference. And so the impact it could potentially have through education and leveraging data could have a profound impact and then also benefit their company for the long run. However, a lot of it's very forward thinking, and they got to be on board, right? I can't make somebody do something you don't want to do. So, what I'll leave this with is so Sweet Consulting, we are growing. So for anybody that's interested in learning opportunities that we might have that you can participate in, maybe if you have time, right? You're looking for a job, something to do. Maybe if you're looking for funding, investing opportunities, right? But then also too, maybe you are business owners. Maybe you are connected. Maybe you have people that you can help introduce us to, so that way we can get, in front of and into the right rooms and continue to share this. And let's test this baby. Let's test these numbers, test these products, see the value. How well does it work? I can tell you is that we are expanding pretty well, especially in Rochester, and then we're growing across the East Coast. So, got a lot of things, and that's
Thank
it.
you so much, Collin.
Thank you to all of our presenters. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah.